If you're trying to improve several aspects of your life, whether it's friendships, whether it's productivity, whether it's your mindset, I got 5 of the most influential books that I have ever read in this video, and we're going through them right now. What's up, everybody? Hopefully you all had a good Christmas. It's your man, Cole Hastings, and we're here with a personal development video. If you guys are new to this channel, it's all about building your body and mind through a plant-based diet, as well as personal development videos like this one. So consider subscribing. And I will have every single book in the description below. So if you want to buy them on Amazon, they're there for you to read. I highly suggest reading at least one of them. And I think every single one of these books could positively impact your life and have a massive shift in your life as well. Yes, I forgot before we get right into the video, please leave a comment below on your favorite self-help book of all time, because I could really use some recommendations right now. Love reading self-help books. So yeah, let me know your favorite in the comments. All right, let's get into the first book. It is Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. I think it's Aurelius, that's how it's pronounced. Not entirely sure. This book is all about Stoicism. If you don't know what Stoicism, it's essentially a philosophy, a Greek philosophy back in the old Greek times. You know what times I'm talking about, the Roman times. And essentially Stoicism, it's basically a guide on how you should live your life. And there's a few things that I guess I want to talk about, and then there's going to be one key idea that I've really felt impact me. I feel that one of the main important things with Stoicism is just understanding that you are responsible for any annoyance in your life. If you're annoyed by something, that is your opinion of something. He highly stresses this in the book. He talks about how everything is not good or bad, it's only good or bad in your mind. So there's a famous quote, nothing is either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Not sure what Greek philosopher or Greek person said that. I don't actually remember right now. You need to understand that you are in control of your reaction to situations. And I just want to read one more thing, quote actually from the book. I don't want to stay on this book for too long, but I do want to read this quote because he does talk a lot about how you should constantly keep in mind that you are going to die. So let me read this quote. Hopefully it's a little humbling to you guys. Why do you hunger for length of days? The point of life is to follow reason and the divine spirit and to accept whatever nature sends you. To live in this way is not to fear death, but to hold it in contempt. Death is only a thing of terror for those unable to live in the present. Pass on your way, then, with a smiling face, under the smile of him who bids you go. So thinking about how long the universe has existed, how small you are in the universe, and how you're going to die one day, and how everybody dies one day, you have no pressure. You have no social pressure at that point once you come to this realization. You can do whatever the hell you want in this very small fraction of time we have on this universe. So the shortened version, constantly remind yourself that you're going to die. Realize that you are infinitely small in an infinitely large universe. And realize that nothing is good or bad, but your thinking towards that thing is what makes it good or bad. Now let's get on to the second one, an absolute classic, which really changed the way I interact with people in general, and that is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Such a good book for social relations, for, business, for connecting with people. I found it's just incredible how many principles he's lined out. It's very clear. He uses real life examples. It was just awesome for me because I've always been a bit of an introvert. I've always been, not too great when it comes to talking to people. And after I read this book, my people skills enhanced pretty greatly. The one thing, if you're gonna take anything from this book, personally, I believe, is to start remembering people's names and calling them by their names. This was a huge revelation to me. I was like, geez, this is something I don't think about at all. It's something that I rarely do, and it makes such a huge impact on people. People love being called by their name, hearing their name. They feel, it feels way more personal to them, and they feel more special, and they feel like they are more important. If you have trouble remembering someone's name, I have a good little trick for you. Right once you hear their name, try to think of a rhyme in your head. This is a psychological thing that I learned in my cognitive psychology class. We tend to remember things better if we associate a rhyme sentence with it. So let's take an example, Cole, because my name's Cole. You can say something like in your head. You don't want to say this out loud right once you ask someone their name. You can say Cole goes for a bowl. What this does is actually helps you to remember things. So that's also just a life tip for remembering things. Associate a rhyme with a word you're trying to remember. But if you do end up forgetting someone's name and you're too embarrassed to ask them again, if you don't already have their phone number, you can ask like, hey, let me get your contact or something. This is something that I do a lot when I forget somebody's name. I'm like, yo, I don't have your phone number. Just put it in my phone right now. And they'll usually put their first and last name in your phone. So that's a quick little hack if you don't want to ask them again what their name is. Third book I got for you guys is Essentialism by Greg McKeown. This book basically teaches you about minimalism, about how you should start deleting things from your life and saying no more. And this book is great for anyone who feels overwhelmed, who feels like they have absolutely no time to do anything, and is just so scared of saying no to certain situations. This book goes in depth as to how to pick out the things that really matter in your life. I'm sure there's tons of things that you think matter that really just do not matter at all in your life. There's so many unimportant things that you do and that I do still, even after reading this book, every single day. And I know they're not essential, but like sometimes I can't help myself. But this book will help you to see through everything and really pick out what matters most. So the key idea I want to take out of this book is you need to say no more. You need to train yourself to say no more. There are so many situations that we just like impulsively just say, oh yeah, I'll do that. And it's something we don't even want to do. It's something that'll take up a lot of our time, and we know we can do more essential things during that time, but we decide to say yes anyway, because saying yes is just easier. It's so much easier to say yes to somebody than it is to say no to something they want to do. But you need to start putting first things first. As this person is asking you, or when this person asks you, you need to think, is this essential? Is this something that is absolutely necessary for me to do? And 99% of the time, it's a no. I know that's going to sound like you're a hermit, you're never going to be doing anything, but what this does is gives you so many perks. You're able to do the more essential tasks, you're able to be way more productive. The more you say no, the more productive you are. I found this out a ton. If you say no to somebody, they will realize you have more important things to do with your time. They will think you're a more productive person, and that you just are a hard worker. You just want to do things that you actually love to do, and people will respect you for that. All right, at this point in the video, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm saving my favorite book for last. Don't tell anybody who hasn't watched this far through. I know I said it wasn't in order. They're actually not, except for this last one. So stick around to the end to hear my favorite and most influential book of all time. But let's get on to number 4, and that is The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. This book explains the new psychology behind why we do what we do every single day, how our habits, and how we do things without thinking about them anymore. So I guess I'm just gonna explain how to change your habits, how you want to change a bad habit. I'm gonna go through that. That's pretty much the most important idea in this whole book. So we have a trigger, we have the behavior, and then we have the reward for some type of habit. Something that triggers us to do a bad habit, let's say eating chips, let's say eating potato chips. The trigger is seeing the chips. We see the chips and we automatically think, our brains go off. This is our amygdala, which is actually controlling the habits we do. And once your amygdala sees the trigger, it tells you, hey, go eat those chips, go do it. And unintentionally, without thinking, you go and eat the chips. And the reward is that good feeling of dopamine you get from eating any high fat or salty food. So what Charles Duhigg says is you can't change your habits. All you can do is replace them with new ones. So what we need to do is change the behavior that we decide to do. So once we get that trigger, we need to replace the behavior with something better. So once you get that trigger, you need to replace your behavior with some healthy food. Let's say an apple. You eat an apple, and the problem is the reward is not gonna be the same. You're not gonna get that dopamine response, right? So what I suggest you guys do is reward yourself somehow with another type of, something that really gets your dopamine up, like meditation, some reading, something that's a healthy dopamine level riser. Okay, so the last book, definitely my favorite book and one of the first personal development books I ever read, and thank God it was one of the first ones because I can't say enough good things about it or the man who wrote it, and it is my favorite book that I've read so far, but yeah, we're not gonna tell anybody that. It is Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss, and I don't have it with me right now because I lent it to a friend because, it was just that good. I needed to show somebody it. But Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss. Essentially what Tim Ferriss does is he interviews people on his podcast, these world-class performers. That's basically his job. He interviews a bunch of entrepreneurs or performers, high performers in their certain field, like sports people. And he compiled the interviews, the most important things from these interviews, into a book. It's a massive book, and he also has some of his own little snippets along the way of what he's learned. But the thing that had the most impact on me, I believe, was his morning routine that he wrote out. So this was the first time that I was exposed to a morning routine or like a morning journal or a night journal. I believe that journaling and morning routines are critically important. You see it in so many successful people. Morning routines, I have a video on it as well that you guys can check out too. But morning routines are super important, and it helped me develop it. He goes through it step by step in his book of how his usual morning routine looks like, or his morning journal. And it's this really quick 5-minute thing that you can do every morning. So let me just outline it right here. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is write 3 things that you are grateful for. I've talked about gratitude and how important it is from a psychological aspect, just to making you feel happy. And the morning is the most critical time that you need to start being happy and start developing that happiness. You're the most malleable in the morning, and it will lead to good things throughout the rest of the entire day. So write 3 things that you're grateful for. I'm sure you'll notice this after a month of doing it, that you'll notice an increase in your happiness. The next thing is write 3 things that would make today great. So basically 3 goals you have for the day. And writing down your goals has been scientifically proven to make you do these goals and accomplish these goals more. So I highly suggest that you write down 3 things that would make today great, basically 3 goals. And then you write down your daily affirmations. You can, kind of do as many as you like, really. You can do 3, you can do 5, you can do 10. He doesn't really specify this, but yeah, just write down a few affirmations. Affirmations are hugely important to developing how you're going to feel about yourself, really, and they're super important because they start becoming not just words on paper, they start crystallizing in reality. So I do highly suggest that you have some affirmations, some really powerful affirmations like I am strong, I am worthy of having an awesome business online, I am worthy of having X, stuff like that. And we are going to end the video there. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you read at least one of these books. And like I said before, leave a comment below on your favorite self-help book. I could really use some recommendations. If you did enjoy this video, leave a like for me. I hope you enjoyed the ideas in this video, and I hope you take action now. I hope I've inspired you to take action, and I will catch you guys in the next video.